Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It's Kelly here. It's mud season in Kellyland, but we got a new beat around rig I'd like to show you. We're going to talk a little bit about what to look for when shopping for a work car or a beater, and then we'll dig into it and see what kind of deal I got, what all's going to need fixed before we can put it on the road. Stay tuned. Look at that sexy thing. If you guys haven't seen the video on that boy, go check it out. Still think it turned out freaking dope. I thought it looked good before, reverse leveled and otherwise stock, but this is how they should come from the factory right here, boys. Well, here's the Butte right there. She's a 2000 Subaru flavor station wagon, as you can tell. Got a pretty good deal on it, I think. I guess we'll find out. I bought it, drove it home, drove it to work once. I got a kind of an idea what it's gonna need, but we'll talk a little bit about what to look at, what to look for when you go to check out a cheap used car like this. I'm talking sub $1,000 car here. So you rich folk, you just as well skip ahead in the video or something, but we're poor folk around here. But yeah, scenario. So you've been shopping on Facebook, you got a price range in mind, you're looking at cars, you got an idea what you want. You want decent gas mileage, rear wheel drive or all wheel drive, not really into that front wheel drive stuff. Plenty of room for the doggos and the kid, and somewhat reliable, doesn't need a ton of work. That's where I was at. We come across this boy. Like I said, it's a 2000. It's got about 212,000 miles. Guy says it runs and drives good. We'll be the judges of that. So you pick out a car, you go to look at it, you get there. You say hi, make the proper introductions and whatnot. Then you're gonna want to start looking this thing over. First of all, we're looking for body damage. If there was any that they tried to hide in the pictures or that you couldn't see, this one, it's got some rust. Got had a tree limb or something fall on it. We could tell that from the pictures, so that wasn't a big deal. We were just looking for things that might have happened since they took the Craigslist pictures. Missing bumpers, crashed out headlights. Fumbling with the keys here, so let's try and get in here. Unlock the rest of these doors. So you made a sweep the outside of the vehicle. I don't know why that was zoomed in. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure all the doors open and close, and I'm going to check for rust there on the little doorway, whatever, kick plate, whatever you want to call that. Make sure it ain't all rusted out. Yeah, she's crispy. One thing, especially being a station wagon, make sure that latch opens. Hatch, latch, whatever, and then make sure it shuts, which is maybe. Woo. There we go. We got her that. Little stuff. That must have a latch. Check the door. Oh, there's more weight reduction. Don't worry about that. Now, it all comes down to what you're comfortable driving, what meets your needs, and whatnot. Little stuff like that. It's not structural. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just ugly. While you're doing your walk around, you should be checking the tires. Thinking, am I going to have to put tires on this thing in the near future? If they are in decent shape, how long do you think they're going to last? More importantly, are they wearing funny? Is one side of the tire bald and the other side Still has plenty of tread. Be a good indication that you got some suspension work ahead of you. If everything looks good, go ahead and pop the hood. Oh, yeah, there we got her. Bear with me. It's interesting trying to do things one-handed. Well, there she is, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Subaru 2.5 liter, or so I've been led to believe. Oh yeah, there's something cool. Subaru. Oh, this looks factory. I'm sure. Nice hot air intake there. I'm sure that's how that's supposed to be. We'll go ahead and fix that while we're here. Okay, main thing you're looking for, mouse nests. Has this actually been on the road the last few years, or did somebody put it out to pasture and then decide they'd pawn it off to the next guy? I don't really see any evidence. You know, usually little places like that, there's a little bit of acorn shells or something. You know, some stuff is to be expected. You know, that thing sits here for a few days at a time and they get in the engine bay of that. So you're just looking for big nests. The next thing you're looking for is real obvious leaks. It's some schmoo down there, but that's where the oil fill neck is, so I'm gonna guess that's just people spilling over the years. The front cover's got a little bit of schmoo on it, but yeah, it's got 200,000 miles on it. What do you expect? One thing that I did spot here, that hose is all oily, covered in oil. That hose clamp's all covered in oil. Looks like the power steering reservoir. Either one of them hoses is spraying power steering fluid, or the reservoir's cracked or something, so we'll have to look into that. But I don't see anything major. So if everything looks good, we're going to move on to checking some fluids. I start with the oil cap. And you might say, Kelly, why you taking the oil cap off? You can't check the oil level that way. What you can look for on the inside of this cap, if you have a bunch of creamy butterscotch looking stuff, milkshake looking stuff, it's very possible that there is a bad head gasket. Now sometimes engines just build up moisture, which is normal, so you might have a little bit, so it shouldn't completely deter you, but depending on how severe the milkshake is, you're going to want to investigate a little deeper. Next thing, we're going to pull the dipstick. She's got way too much oil, which is interesting, but it looks halfway decent. We'll give her a little sniff here. You're sniffing for sweet smell like antifreeze, or gassy smell. Neither of those is present, which is good. Moving on to the radiator. Make sure, you know, ideally you go to look at a car, you want it to be cooled down when you get there, but you just can't really see that. You know, you definitely don't want to go pulling the radiator cap if you met this guy at Walmart or something and the car's hot. But in there you're looking for strange colors, or that same milkshake mixture. You know, antifreeze comes in a handful of different colors, but it should be clear. It shouldn't ever be really murky, dirty. And it definitely shouldn't be thick and sludgy like it's got a bunch of oil mixed into it. Shut up, guy. We're trying to make a YouTube video here. Freaking people have no respect. With that, I can see it's got brake fluid. I can see it's got power steering fluid. Got the custom battery hold down. That's normal. If everything looks good there, then we can go ahead and start her up. So a lot here is going to depend on whether or not this car has been sitting, or if you met somebody, you know, as to how it starts up. I know for a fact that the car's been sitting here for a few days. Put the key in, we got the dinger. Turn her over there. I heard the fuel pump. Dash is lighting up. Looks like we're good. Let's look at that. Starts right up. Minty. 211,000 miles. Looks like we got a check engine light. While we're in here, check the windows. sometimes it's wise. Oh, that one's a little slow. Sometimes it's wise to ask the guy if all the windows work before you go jacking them all up and down, because they might just get stuck. Then nobody's going to be very happy. Oh, got a little squeaker going on there. Let's check him out. Look at this. What is this? Oh, fancy. Look at that. We won't mess with all those electronicals yet. Save the interior for later. We know all our windows go up though, and we know that the door locks work. That's pretty impressive, really, for going on. Well, I guess it is 20-some years old now. 21 years old. Headlights work. That's always good. Check the fog lights. So with the engine running, you're looking for leaks, strange noises. These engines sound kind of strange anyway, but what's somewhat important to note is once you decide to go look at a car, is maybe to spend a few minutes doing some research. I know the main problems on these Subarus is head gaskets and timing belts, so we'll kind of like focus our attention towards those items, which, you know, we've checked the oil and the antifreeze for mixing. Doesn't seem to be any of that going on yet, but keep our eye out for leaks and whatnot. Timing belt, I'm not real sure what to look for there. We can look and see, look for evidence of it being worked on recently. Sometimes you can see wrench marks on the bolts where the guy had it apart. Not really seeing any of that. I'm sure some Subaru fan will hop on and say shut the car off and don't run it again until you change the timing belt, but I'm not that worried about it. She's running, I don't hear any excessive valve train noise, no knocks, clunks, rattles, nothing crazy. She's idling down now. Let's give her a little rev here on the old. Sounds all right to me. Another thing you can do once you get it started, and we'll do this again once it's warmed up. Pull that oil cap off. If it keeps running, it's got a nice healthy vacuum. And then sometimes you might get a little wisp, little puffs of white smoke out of there, but there shouldn't be like an excessive amount. There shouldn't. You see how it's, that cap's just bouncing from vibration, but it shouldn't blow that cap off. Looks like we're good in that department. Let's check out the interior some more, and then we'll test drive her. So on the interior side of thing, it kind of comes down to, what you're comfortable driving. Main purpose of this car is going to be to haul doggos around, take them for walks and stuff, and then just kind of serve as a backup vehicle if one's in the shop and one goes down or something like that. But seats are in real good shape. You can tell when we get over there that driver's seat's a little rough. It's definitely got 200,000 miles on it, but like I said, it's up to you what you're comfortable driving, but some things you should be looking for are signs of water damage. If you got water pooled up in here, or big stains on the seat, or the seats are wet, or big stains on the headliner, wherever it may be, signs of water damage might mean that you got a bad window seal or something like that. Just ain't a huge deal, just might make it harder to heat or cool, and you've always got the, like the mold concern. But this guy's comes with a factory crooked ass hitch there. That's cool. Trailer brakes. I'm sure this thing's led a real easy life. See, there we got some watery stuff. I don't know if that's from that window leaking. Judging by the seat belt being kind of chewed up, it looks like maybe they had a dog themselves, the last guy. But yeah, well, we're gonna have to work on that some. Can't really check brake lights very well. Oh, actually, you guys probably can't see that, but You can actually see the back of the brake light because that panel fell off when I slammed the door shut. That's just wonderful. That's nice. This thing has just been a good purchase already, I can tell. Okay, back inside. Car's still running good. We do have a check engine light. Apparently that hatch is not all the way shut. Airbag light on, that's good. Okay, so we'll check.
When you play games from the Iowa Lottery.
Radio works. Blower motor works. It's not going to tell you for sure if the AC works, but what you can do here is set it to cool. Kick that AC on and see if you hear the sound of the engine change at all. There it's lugging down like it's got a load on it. And there it's coming back. So we can tell. The compressor actually kicks on and off anyway, so that's good. Cruise. Oh, there's our fog light button. Have to check those later. What do we got in here? Got any dead mice or anything cool? Ooh, nope, nothing. Outback. Sometimes you'll get cool surprises in these guys while you're looking around. This guy had her pretty well cleaned out. Interior needs a bath, but it's actually in pretty decent shape. You know, it's definitely got some miles on it, but what do you expect? These seats, though, are just in really nice shape. This might just be a going to town rig, boys. One thing I do see here is that might just be for looks or something, but we'll see how that goes. So we've checked out the body, we've checked out the interior. Sorry about the fingers. We checked under the hood. You know, if all's good with the guy that you're talking to, we'll take this thing for a test drive. Now the first thing I'm going to do is in regards to this brake pedal, go ahead and give it a big old push. Big old push. It definitely shouldn't go to the floor. If it stops halfway and then goes to the floor, you've really got a problem because you just blew out a rusty brake line. This one's got a little bit of sponge to it, but it firms up there towards the bottom. It doesn't touch the floor, so that's good. Go ahead and give her a little burp with the throttle. The old gasolator pedal works just fine. Big thing, big step right here. Press the brake pedal down, put her in gear. You guys aren't going to be able to tell. Maybe you can watch the tach. You're looking to make sure that this transmission engages properly. You know, if there's a big huge delay, you probably can't hear it. If there's a big delay or a big clunk or anything like that, you want to walk away, probably. This thing goes into gear real nice. Let's throw her in reverse. There she goes in reverse real nice. So we're ready to go on the old test drive. Let's check out the wipers. Woo! Oh my gosh. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. Those are nice. Alright, we got our seat belts on. I fixed that gate latch issue, whatever. You're driving. We're good to go on our test drive here. It's mud season here in Kellyland, if I haven't already mentioned that, and it's also pretty cold and foggy today. Be a good day to check out this defrost, make sure it works good. And it's the wrong wiper once again. Okay, we're concerned about the engine and the transmission mostly. Suspension stuff, if you're working on it yourself, is pretty cheap. So, you know, we're gonna keep our eye out for, you know, sloppy steering, clunks, clanks, shit like that when you go across bumps. But mainly we're worried about how this motor runs and how the transmission shifts. Waiting on some traffic here. All right, here we go. Accelerating nicely. It's going all right so far here. Seems like goes down the road straight. It ain't pulling to the left, pulling to the right. Ain't got a bunch of loosey-goosey play in the steering wheel. Brakes are good. They work anyway. Now let's beat on her a little bit. Oh, we got a big downshift. Definitely doesn't have much in the power department, but it seems to run good. Sounds healthy. Shifts good at full throttle. That's a good sign. Hasn't been beat on too much by the last guy. Haven't heard any weird noises coming from the suspension, anything like that. Keep an eye on your temperature gauge, make sure she ain't heating up on you or something. Go ahead and come to a stop here. And then we're going to throw her in reverse. There, it engages in reverse. Give her some. Say reverse works just fine. Back in drive. Let's put her in rally car mode. Yeah, this thing's gonna need some fixing here. Rally mode engage. We're gonna get her up to a nice speed here, and then we're gonna slam on the brakes. Oh yeah, we got brakes. Okay. Let's head on back. The last thing I like to do is after the test drive, climb under the vehicle and look for leaks. You know, a lot of times things leak worse after they've been running and stuff. And we'll get a better view on the old exhaust and the suspension system. Make sure there's no big holes in the floorboard, things of that nature. Fuck you, Jason! So, we got her back, pulled it in the garage just for my sake, so I ain't got to crawl around in the mud, but wherever you're at looking at this car, whether it's muddy or not, do yourself the favor and get under it. We're going to check this oil cap. If you had a bunch of water in the oil, then right now there'd be foam up in this neck, and you'd have that milkshake stuff on the cap. Sometimes a guy will get smart and try and clean that off because he knows you're going to look at it. I want to check this oil again because if you remember, it was way overfilled. Not really looking at the level, just looking for that same milkshake and foamy stuff, and I'm not seeing anything like that. So I think we're all right in the head gasket department. Let's climb underneath and have a look. Okay, here's the oil filter. Unfortunately, it's a Fram, but it's okay. We won't hold that against it. Got maybe a little bit of oil leaking from there. Man, this lighting under here is not very ideal. So, like I said, we want to check our head gaskets. There's the head gasket right there. Actually, maybe has some seepage. Could just be, years of grime and things. The oil pan gasket may be leaking a little bit. But what we don't have, which is good, is anything actively dripping. Nothing, running out of the thing. While we're here, take a look at this suspension. We got sway bar links there, sway bar, nothing broken. Tie rod end, nothing broken there. There's our CV shaft, ball joint, strut. This thing's kind of dirty now because I had to take it down the gravel road, but I don't see any signs of concern over here. All right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up on this one. We're going to head over to the car wash, get her cleaned up, and then bring her home for the more in-depth inspection. One more thing I did think of, though, on that test drive is when you get back from the test drive, always, always, always shut it off and then try and start it right back up. A lot of times the car will start good when it's cold, or it'll start good when it's hot, but not the other way around, whatever. This thing pops right off, cold or hot, so we're good with that. But that's going to wrap this one up. Catch you on episode 2.